Woohoo! This was worth the wait.
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here. So, I have just got back from watching the newest installment of the John Wick film series, and this is a film which, of course, I've been long awaiting for, and it's also my most anticipated movie of 2023. And this film that I've just got back from watching, guys, is, of course, none other than this year's John Wick Chapter 4. Directed, of course, by Chad Stahelski. And so, now, when it comes to the franchise of John Wick, guys, as you guys know, I'm a massive fan of the franchise, and I even, of course, own the first 3 films so far on Blu-ray, of course, and I love these movies. And so, I was definitely really hyped for this movie. So, I went, of course, to see the movie today, and I'm going to be reviewing it. So, how was the movie made? So development of the 4th John Wick film was confirmed before the release of the previous movie, of course, which was John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. It was also announced by Lionsgate in May 2019, who also confirmed the return of my favourite actor, Keanu Reeves, as the main character, John Wick. This is also the first one in the series not to be written by Derek Kolstad, and this was written by Shay Hatton, who wrote it alongside Michael Finch. And this was originally set to be released on May 21st, 2021, but unfortunately, it got delayed for several reasons due to, of course, unfortunately to the coronavirus pandemic, and then also because Keanu Reeves was also busy as well, filming what was actually an absolutely awful movie, of course, which was, of course, The Matrix Piss Erections, I didn't name it, which was a garbage movie. And filming, of course, took place from June 2021 until October of that year. Filming in places such as France, Germany, New York, and Japan. This was originally set for release on May 21st, but finally got released on March the 6th, 2023, when it premiered at the Odeon Lux Leicester Square area in London, and was released in the United States today on March 24th by Lionsgate. And the film has received positive reviews from critics so far. When it comes to my reaction to this film, guys, so as I said, guys, I absolutely love these 3 films. And I can also as well confidently say, guys, that I really loved this film. This film was definitely really amazing and was most definitely, in my opinion, worth the wait. And so, now, was it the best one in the franchise? Well, not in my opinion, no, because there were still some nitpicks I did have with it, though, unfortunately. But it was still, in my opinion, a great movie and one of the best films of the sequels to me. So, yeah. Now, when it comes to the film's plot, so now I'm going to be talking major spoilers, guys, so yeah, please be warned. If you've not seen the movie, I'd recommend you go watch it right away before you see this review. So yeah, you've been warned, guys. So I'm going to give it the countdown from 5 to 0. So yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now, the film begins, of course, with John Wick, of course, preparing to get his revenge against the High Table while he's hiding underground with a Bowery King, who's once again played by Lawrence Fishburne in this. And he also had a bit of a new look, because in this film he was bald, guys. In the second film he had hair, whereas in this film he's now bald. So yeah, So we then get a pretty awesome motorbike chase in Morocco, which was definitely really cool. And then he confronts the Elder. I noticed that it appears as though they recasted the Elder, and it was explained that it's a new Elder this time, because the other one had died before with John's ring on the Elder. So yeah. So John kills the Elder, who is, of course, the only individual above the High Table. And because this has happened, and of course, the manager of a New York Continental Hotel, Winston, and his concierge, Sharon, are summoned to a Marquis Vincent de Gramont, who is played in this by Bill Skarsgård. And he's a senior member of the High Table, and he chastises Winston for his failure to assassinate John in the 3rd movie's ending, of course. Although I don't think he was trying to kill John, because if he really wanted to kill John, guys, he'd aim for a head. But yeah, of course, he shot John where his body armor is, and allowed John to fall off a Continental Hotel's roof. So yeah. And Ian McShane, of course, reprised his role as Winston and did a great job as always playing him. And Now, when it comes to Sharon as well, I also want to pay my respects to the legendary Lance Reddick, because unfortunately he passed away literally a week before this one came out last Friday. And when I heard the news, guys, I was heartbroken, and it came out of nowhere. And he definitely died way too soon. He was only 60, for crying out loud. Goodness me, I was too young. It's not fair. So yeah, rest in peace, Lance, and you always will, and Sharon always will be an all-time favourite role of yours. You were an incredible actor, Lance, and I'll honour your legacy by watching more of your projects, and I'll also play games which you're in as well in the future. So yeah, rest in peace, Lance. Be seeing you. Now, after this thought, however, we get on to one of my bad qualities with this film. So Dugamont, of course, summons Winston and Sharon to like a skyscraper, and to punish Winston, he strips him of his duties as manager, of course, despite him getting the position back at the end of Parabellum from the Adjudicator, who, by the way, guys, isn't in this movie. Then he blows up a Continental, and then after this, however, unfortunately, it looks like he's about to shoot Winston dead, but because Winston appeared in several shots in a trailers with John, I had a feeling he wasn't going to die just yet when he aimed a gun at Winston. And unfortunately, Dugamont shoots and kills Sharon. So that's probably my biggest bad quality with this film. But the film gave the Alien 3 cliche to Sharon. Like, I didn't really like that because Sharon is a great character, guys, and my favourite role of Lance, and it also hit really hard considering that poor Lance passed away, you know, last Friday. So yeah, I didn't really like that, how he got killed, especially so early into the movie, especially because in the first one he was such a badass with his insanely brilliant fighting skills and all that. So yeah, I was very upset that they killed off Sharon like that. And yeah, but despite barely appearing in the film, Lance was still great what he was given, of course, and he will be appearing in a spin-off called Ballerina as well. So yeah, I'll be watching that to see him alongside the returning characters in that as well. So yeah. And after, of course, he punishes Winston and kills Sharon, Dugamont then travels to Paris, where he recruits a blind, retired high-table assassin called Kane, who's played by Donnie Yen. And now, I will also say, guys, that right off the bat, Kane was probably my favourite character introduced in this film, because he was an absolute show stealer, and easily, in my opinion, my second favourite role of Donnie Yen behind Ip Man. And I think he did a really great job playing Kane. He was definitely one of the best parts of the movie. So Dugamont, of course, hires him to of course, assassinate John, and threatening to kill Kane's daughter otherwise. We then, of course, get a revelation that John is taking refuge at the Continental Hotel in Osaka in Japan, which is run by his friend Shimizu Koji, who is played in this by Hiroyuki Sanada. And he was also as well one of my favourite parts of the film as well, another brilliant show stealer. And then, of course, Dugamont's assassins arrive there, and they're led by Dugamont's right-hand man called Chidi, I think he's called, yeah, played by Marco Zaro, he did a very good job playing Chidi, in my opinion. Yeah, really good job, yeah, with all his martial arts and all that in this movie. He definitely showed it. And then we got a pretty awesome fight scene as well, which was definitely a lot of fun to see, and Kane also took part as well, and we got to see him interacting with John, how he reunited, because he's an old friend of John. And yeah, and the fight scene was absolutely awesome. We're all with swords and the bows and arrows. It was just absolutely brilliant and really fun to watch. And yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. And then, of course, after this, Koji's daughter Akira, who is a hotel's concierge, they order a hotel to be evacuated, and then we got a pretty awesome fight. And unfortunately, Akira is wounded while Koji tells John how to escape, and of course, on his way out, of course, John fights the assassins and also encounters Kane. However, before they can finish off their fighting, they're interrupted by someone who's pursuing John, who is hunting John for a contract, who is called Mr. Nobody. And he was actually a pretty cool character in this film, as well, played by Shamier Anderson. I think he did a very good job playing Mr. Nobody in this. And he lets John go, however, when he decides that the contract money is not enough, because I think it was like, what, $20 million for contract on John, so yeah. Akira also does escape too, but unfortunately, Koji is killed by Kane, who, of course, won't let them through unless they tell him where John is. So, unfortunately, Koji gets killed, but Hiroki Sanada did a good job playing Koji in this movie. After this, John then returns to New York and he meets with Winston at Sharon's grave. So yeah, it just felt really sad seeing, you know, Sharon's grave. Sorry, it was very sad, really was. And it also hit a lot because Lance Reddick passed away last Friday, yeah. Rest in peace, Lance. Winston then suggests that John challenge de Gramont to a duel, as winning will free him of his obligation to a high table. And due to the table traditions, John can only request a duel on behalf of a crime family. Seeing as he previously severed his ties to Roscoe Roma, of course, as he did in Parabellum, John then travels to their headquarters in Berlin to receive a new crest. So his older sister in this, called Katja, who I think is played by Natalie Atena. I think she did a good job playing her, what she was doing, in my opinion, yeah. It's probably my second favourite role of hers behind Tonks in Harry Potter, and so she agrees to give him his crest if he kills a high table senior called Killer, and he's of course played by Scott Adkins, guys. And yeah, Scott Adkins is a pretty cool actor in my opinion, and he's a brilliant stuntman. I loved him in the Undisputed franchise, and it was nice to see him in this alongside John Wick and Donnie Yen and his character Kane. So you basically got Keanu Reeves, Donnie Yen, and Scott Adkins in the same room, which was just awesome. So John goes to a nightclub and he finds Keeler, and they played a game of cards, and it was definitely, you know, and Scott Adkins did a good job playing Keeler in this, in my opinion, and their fight was really good as well, and definitely one of his most unique roles, in my opinion, yeah, because his character went to be a bit of Kingpin for Marvel a little bit, just not bold. After killing Killer and then taking out his tooth to prove that he's been killed, because he had like gold teeth in front of him, Katja then brands John's arm with a Roscoe Roma crest, so which enables John to formally request a duel with de Gramont through Winston, who requests that the New York Continental be rebuilt with him as manager as part of his term should John win. So John then goes to Paris, and de Gramont, of course, is of course deciding the parameters of their duel, which is moderated by the table's emissary called the Harbinger, who's of course played by Clancy Brown in this. And I gotta say that Clancy Brown was definitely a great choice for a role, in my opinion. I think he did a great job playing the Harbinger, and it's one of my favourite live action roles of Clancy Brown, although my favourite role will be Lex Luthor, though, of course. So yeah. So de Gramont nominates a reluctant Kane to fight in his place, and this duel is going to take place the following sunrise at the Sacre-Cœur in Paris, the cathedral. Also, yeah, which of course is the church in Paris, yeah. Which means Sacred Heart, of course, yeah, translated. So yeah, and the Harbinger then informs John that both he and Winston will be executed should he fail to appear at the sunrise, which of course is 6:03 in the morning. So yeah. The Bowery King arrives in Paris to give John a weapon and a new suit. So yeah, that was definitely pretty cool, that, yeah, absolutely. And de Gramont then attempts to prevent John from getting into a duel by placing, you know, a high contract on his head, this time of $40 million. So John fights off the hordes, and we get loads of non-stop action in this scene. That was definitely really awesome and mind-blowing. All the stunts was really good, and there was also as well a fight scene taking place in like a ruined building, which is like a bird's eye view. It reminded me a lot of the game Hong Kong Massacre a little bit, which is pretty cool. Mr. Nobody also comes as well to hunt John, but, however, Chidi comes and he nearly shoots Mr. Nobody's dog, who he hunts with, but John, however, saves the dog by shooting Chidi. So yeah, and Mr. Nobody decides to stop hunting John after he saved his dog. So you could say that was like a redemption arc for John, really, because he couldn't save his dog Daisy in the first film, but now he saved another dog in this movie. So yeah, so that's definitely redemption for John right there. Then after that, John goes to the stage leading up to the Sacre-Cœur, and but unfortunately, loads of more hunters arrive, led by Chidi, and of course, Chidi nearly kills John, but Kane arrives to assist him, and Mr. Nobody then comes and kills Chidi, of course, with his dog as well, which is definitely a very satisfying scene, of course, yeah, because Chidi was definitely a very compelling henchman in this. John and Kane then get to the summit ready, and Winston is saved, and the two after that, then duel with pistols, and then, of course, that scene was definitely very intense, in my opinion. My heart was pounding in that scene, of course, because it was very intense. And unfortunately, however, in this round, Kane then gravely wounds John in the first two rounds, sadly. So, yeah. But when, of course, John got mortally wounded, he didn't fire his gun. He let Kane shoot him, and then John fell to the ground. Dugramont then asked to personally execute John for the final round. But, of course, he completely didn't realise at all that John didn't fire his gun. So John, who is still got his gun, shoots and kills him and shoots him in the head. So Kane is now free as well. He can go and be with his daughter, and Winston can now be the head of a consensus again, his position reinstated. And the Harbinger then declares John free with debt to High Table. Then after the Harbinger leaves, John then goes to the stairs and he sits there, and he's unfortunately dying from his wound, it would appear, and he then remembers his wife Helen, and it appears as though he dies peacefully, and then he collapses on the stairs, and then, yeah, it appears as though he's died. And if it is true that he's definitely dead, guys, then I think that was probably a nice way to end his story, because he can be with his wife now who died, and Daisy, so he can be with those who've died. And so, yeah. After, of course, Winston gets reinstated, we then, of course, get a scene where where he and the Barry King attend John's funeral. And what was definitely very touching was how he got buried next to his wife Helen as well. And they also put on the stone the same quote he wanted, which was a loving husband. So yeah, that was very touching and pretty sad in my opinion. Pretty emotional the way they did it. So yeah, I'm certain that John's dead, guys. And if that's true, then they're not doing any more films after this. No, I don't think it's a good idea. That's why when the credits were rolling, I left the theatre, because I don't want them to do any sequel baiting. I heard that apparently there's a scene where Akira confronts Kane, wanting to avenge the death of Koji. So yeah, that's probably going to be pure sequel baiting, really. So yeah, but I'm not sure if I want to watch any more now, because this was done, of course. And I will, however, watch Ballerina. I'll definitely be giving that a watch, absolutely. And that'll definitely be really fun to watch, to see many familiar faces back, so that'll be nice. Because apparently this film called Ballerina takes place in, of course, in between the events of Chapter 3 and 4 of John Wick. So yeah, that'll be really cool to see, really. And it looks very promising from what I've heard about it. And Chad Stahelski has also said that it looks like they're going to be done for a moment. So they're going to give John Wick a rest. And you know what? That's probably the right thing to do, really, to be honest. Because, yeah, this film was definitely worth the wait. And the ending sounds like it was a nice way to end things, really, to be honest. Because John's now free from his debts. And also, as well, he also, as well, got redemption because he saved another dog from dying, and now he can be at peace with his wife Helen and his dog Daisy. So yeah, and all those who associated with him who've died, like Sean, for example. So yeah, that's John Wick Chapter 4, guys, and I definitely really love this movie, and it was definitely really fun to watch. So I'll definitely be grabbing it on Blu-ray when it comes out, because I already, of course, have the first 3 films on Blu-ray, and I'll definitely be wanting to get Chapter 4 when it comes out on Blu-ray. Absolutely, I can't wait for it to be on Blu-ray. So yeah, so that's Chapter 4, guys. I definitely love this movie, and if you're wondering why I give it a score out of 10, well, because it's unfortunately weighted Chiron at the start of a movie. That's my biggest quality with this movie. I'd probably give a movie a very solid score of 9 out of 10. So yeah, definitely my favourite movie of the year so far. Absolutely an amazing movie. I really love this movie very much. So yeah, because apart from Chiron's death, it was a great ride, and it was very well paced, because this film is 169 minutes, guys, and the pacing is really good. It doesn't feel too long or anything like that. The pacing is so good, because the action scenes go by pretty fast, and it's got a good pace. So it didn't feel so long, in my opinion, at all. Like, it was definitely really awesome, and Bill Skarsgård was definitely, in my opinion, a standout as a villain, de Gramont. That's probably my second favourite role of his, and Pennywise as well. And as I said, guys, as well, Donnie Yen was also a show stealer as Kane, and Lawrence Fishburne, as always, was great as a Bowery King, and Ian McShane was great as Winston, and everyone else in this film was also good too, as well, in my opinion. great performances throughout, and especially, of course, from my first actor, Keanu Reeves as John Wick, as always, my favourite role of his, just absolute badass character, and yeah, so that's my opinion on John Wick 4, guys. Great movie, and I'm looking forward to Ballerina, absolutely, so yeah, so that's my opinion on the film, guys, and of course, as well, guys, rest in peace, Lance Reddick, you'll be missed dearly. So, drill, guys, this me doing my review for John Wick Chapter 4 from this year. So, drill, guys, be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to let me know in the comments what you guys think of John Wick Chapter 4 if you see anything in the comments below. Also, be sure to join the team, iPad and subscribe videos coming in the future. If you'd like to be a member, you can join using a PC, lads, or you can hit the description, and be seeing you.